Hey, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Leo Dunlevy.
And this is Dominic and Leo at the Movies, where we give you weekly movie reviews of the latest and greatest films, and some older ones.
Today we're talking about the newest Matt Damon movie, The Martian.
In The Martian, directed by Ridley Scott, an astronaut named Mark Watney, played by Matt Damon, is stranded on Mars after his team is forced to leave him after a storm rolls through, and they think that he's died. And the majority of the film covers him trying to survive on Mars and not starve before some rescue efforts on Earth can get to him.
I thought the movie was pretty good. I definitely like the world design, how realistic it was, where they stuck to technology that we could very possibly have today or in the next few years.
The special effects were definitely awesome. And it was cool that it wasn't really a science fiction movie because it didn't take place that far in the future. But I would say that the supporting cast was a little bit weak. The film was very much so Matt Damon's, and it focused primarily on him, for the better or for worse.
It didn't have much of a direction, where it had a lot of funny jokes in there, but also kind of skipped to being serious very quickly, which sometimes left me felt a little bit confused. Overall, I give it 7 Leo heads out of 10 Leo heads.
I really enjoyed this film, and it's definitely now on my list of favorite movies because I love space. I give the film an 8 out of 10 disembodied Leo heads. We'll see you guys at the movies.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Hi, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Leo.
And this is Dominic and Leo at the Movies, where we give you weekly movie reviews. Leo, take your hat off. This is a theater.
Oh, what? Today we're going to be talking about a little-known movie, or largely known movie, known as Jurassic World, which aired this summer, starring Chris Pratt.
And Chris Pratt is where it's at. Jurassic World is a film about the theme parks that have dinosaurs in them of the future that were shown in Jurassic Park, and the whole premise of the movie is they make a super dinosaur and it escapes.
It seems kind of contrived. They had the experience of the last park, and they knew things would go wrong, but they didn't have much precautions against exactly what happened last time, where dinosaurs got out. And that just doesn't seem continuital.
Yeah, the story was definitely a big minus. The special effects were super cool, and I loved the action, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save the film.
See, I'm not sure the special effects were even all that good. Comparing to what the original Jurassic Park did, where it pioneered special effects using a combination of animatronics with a newly developing CGI to make something that looked awesomely real. And in this movie, it's blatantly apparent that it's all CGI.
To pair that with kind of an underdeveloped story wasn't that great. I'd say I give the film a 6 out of 10 Leos. It was enjoyable and I'd watch it again.
I give it a 5 out of 10 Leo heads. If only because they pronounced Ankylosaurus Ankylosaurus.
And we'll see you guys at the movies. Hi, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Leo.
And this is Dominic and Leo at the Movies, where we give you weekly movie reviews and trailer analyses.
Hey Dominic, have you seen the new Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer, the extended version?
I sure have. I've watched it over 5 times.
I watched it once, maybe twice, but I still really enjoyed it. So, what do you think of it so far?
I am so excited to see this film when it releases on December 18th. Just looking at the brand new special effects and all of the work that went into it, it's so exciting, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. They have a lot to live up to with, of course, how famous the original Star Wars movies are.
I'm really interested to see what role the retro characters play with the new characters in the new story of the film. And I think Kylo Ren is very cool and could live up to Darth Vader, depending on how they handle it.
And what about, it appears that the Force and stuff has become into this mythology, and the characters don't really understand it, and they're learning about it from the past characters.
I think that's realistic considering how far in the future the film takes place after Star Wars Episode 6. Should be exciting. I can't wait to see it. And As usual, we'll see you guys at the movies. Hi, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Leo.
And this is Dominic and Leo at the movies, where we give you weekly movie reviews. Sorry we weren't here last week, we were busy.
Today we're talking about Age of Ultron, a Marvel movie that came out like 6 months ago.
In the Avengers Age of Ultron, a robot named Ultron is awakened, and he is hell-bent on destroying the world.
Not to be confused with the movie Terminator.
It had a pretty good plot, and I enjoyed the fighting between the characters, including when Iron Man and the Hulk fight was awesome, and Iron Man has his Hulkbuster armor. But overall, I would say the story was a little bit weak and focused too much on the awesome action sequences.
I think that it's certainly not Transformers level. There was more compelling story than those movies. But I think it was a little bit too similar to the last episode, and the characters weren't all that interesting. Like, they've made Iron Man and Captain America good, but they haven't really done too much interesting things with them in this movie.
I can agree with everything he just said. The special effects were phenomenal, as usual. That's par for the course for Marvel films. But I'd say that I give the film 7 out of 10 Leo heads. It was really good, but not as good as the first Avengers.
One of my biggest problems was the fact that Ultron wasn't really like Ultron should be. He had a little bit too much personality for a robot. And I think the story was just kind of weak and not very fresh. I give it around 4 or 5 Leo heads. I'll settle with 4.
Whoa. Alrighty then. We'll see you guys at the movies. Hi, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Leo.
And this is Dominic and Leo at the movies, where we give you movie reviews.
Today we're going to have a Hunger Games buffet, because since it's Thanksgiving, Hunger Games. We're going to be talking about all the Hunger Games movies.
So, since part 2 is coming out soon, we're going to give our reviews of each right now. For instance, the first movie. I really enjoyed it, and it was pretty good. I liked the direction of it, and it was a nice introduction to the series. I give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good movie. It works as an adaptation of the book and is probably better than most book movies around. I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Catching Fire was phenomenal, and so far the best of the 3 that are currently out. I really liked the action in it, and I loved the story. I give it an 8 out of 10.
I thought it was good. Again, they also stayed very true to the book, which I thought was impressive, but I don't remember much anything memorable about it between the 2 movies.
And lastly, Mockingjay Part 1 was okay, and I understand that it's supposed to be rising action to the climactic stuff that will happen in Part 2 coming out today. But it's still kind of petered out a little bit, and I didn't enjoy it very much. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, and I'm excited to see what happens with the cliffhanger that was shown at the end.
I thought it was pretty good. I felt like the most dramatic and the most epic, like something's happening. So I think it was probably the best so far. I'll give it a 7 out of 10.
Fantastic. And we'll see you guys at the movies.
And don't forget, there's a movie night this Friday with, leadership or something with Back to the Future. Smell you later.
Hey, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Leo.
And this is Dominic and Leo at the movies.
Today we're talking about the newest Star Wars, The Force Awakens, directed by J.J. Abrams.
We're going to try and give minimal spoilers so that anybody who hasn't seen the movie doesn't have it ruined for them.
I think it's kind of okay. Like, it was essentially the same as, the old movies, nothing really new, but it had great special effects, and I liked the use of practical effects. So all in all, just kind of worth seeing, but not amazing.
I thought it was really good. It was essentially kind of a remake of A New Hope, but that's all I'm going to say about that. It did feel fresh. The special effects were amazing. The acting was phenomenal, especially on the parts of Daisy Ridley and John Boyega. They were awesome as the new characters, them as well as BB-8. BB-8 was adorable. I'd say I would give the movie a 9.5 out of 10 Leo heads.
I give it, say, 6 Leo heads. That's it.
Are you kidding?
No, 6 Leo heads. It wasn't that good.
All right. And we'll see you guys at the movies. Also, go see Star Wars if you haven't already. It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Hey, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Leo,
And this is Dominic and Leo at the movies.
bringing us weekly movie reviews.
Semi-weekly. Today, we're reviewing The Revenant, the latest Leonardo DiCaprio movie, about a man named Hugh Glass who was attacked by a bear and eventually thought dead. But the movie covers his survival and return and eventual revenge.
There's not a lot to the story, but what really brings this movie together is the beautiful cinematography and the great special effects. With most of the the fights, they're all in one take, and it looks great.
I definitely agree. The cinematography was phenomenal, as well as the directing and the acting, especially on Leonardo's part. I think there was a lot of method acting in the movie as well, and it shows. I would not be surprised if he finally wins an Oscar for this. But overall, I'd say the plot was kind of weak. To me, watching a man survive in the cold for 2.5 hours just isn't that interesting.
I agree. It's a gritty and emotional movie, and that's kind of what you get. It's very artsy. I give it an easy 8 out of Leo heads.
And I would give it 7 out of 10 Leo heads. I enjoyed it, and I'd watch it again.
Okay, and
We'll see you guys at the movies.
that's it. That's what we say.